Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Football, TITTH number 186. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. I got my co-host, Emron Khan, with me this morning. Happy Sunday, sir. How are we doing? Welcome to week 6.
Happy Sunday, man. Doing good, feeling good. It's crazy to say, man. We're already a third of the way through the NFL season.
Oh, well, thank God we got an extra game because, it's moving fast. I don't like it either. But getting into the routine, we're adding more shows here to weekly shows here at the Hizzy. So 3 football shows. We got basketball and hockey now added in. So, we got a full schedule here, but we got sports back, man. We got like everything compounded on top of each other again. It's pretty nice.
October's an awesome month, man. Every sport's rocking and rolling.
Well, it wasn't the same last October. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We're excited. We got this morning game here, Miami and Jacksonville and Mario, London. We're excited to kick that off. I guess we'll dive in with our best bets first here. What are you looking at for this Sunday, sir?
What I'm liking this Sunday, I actually hit Virginia this morning to get my parlays in for the day and my bets.
Nice.
So what I really like today, I have a same game parlay. It's actually for the game tomorrow night.
Okay.
I really think that Bills-Titans game is going to be high scoring. So when I see that, I like to go all in on those and get a little piece of the action. So what I got cooking is I got Derrick Henry 2 or more touchdowns, Tannehill over 225 passing, Allen over 250 passing, Henry over 70 yards rushing, A.J. Brown over 50 yards receiving. Alternate spread, Titans at 9.5, plus 9.5, I should say, and the over at 45.5. That payout is plus 1447. So a $100 bet would give you almost $1,500. $10 bet would give you $150. And like I said, if it's a high scoring game like I think it is, I think everything's pretty reasonable. But then again, last week I had a same game parlay that was killed by the Bills because Devin Singletary needed to get 28 rushing yards. He had 19 in the first half, and they were up by a lot, so they should have ran more. He had 6 in the second half.
That hurts.
Damn
That's
it.
a lot.
Yep.
I've been feeling the Devin Singletary pain in fantasy as well.
Yeah.
In some
Never
spots,
do that
I just feel like stuck with him.
Yep.
But I like those. I mean, you got like the whole game script there. The Henry touchdowns, the Tanny passing, the Allen over on passing, Henry over 70. That's rushing yards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like all these. AJ Brown over 50. Julio's back. There should be open up some more opportunity for him. Titans at 9.5 and the over 45.5. Yeah, I think it all looks good. Today, I'm starting off with this first game. I got Mike Gesicki and James Robinson in a prop. I got James Robinson anytime touchdown and Mike Gesicki over 3.5 catches. We got Tua Tagovailoa coming back. There should be a little bit of extra upside for him to grab a handful of catches. I was going back and forth between Gesicki's prop and Waddle. Waddle was sitting at 4.5. I think that's also very likely. I think the odds are in his favor to hit that number. So I would just want the lower number. Mike Gesicki's a favorite target. Fantasy Pros has him as like tight end 5 for the week. So should be a fair amount of upside for him to hit that number. And I like the Robinson anytime touchdown. He's cooking right now. And the Dolphins rushing defense isn't great.
No, I agree with you.
On top of
with Tua coming back, and I said I agree with you. With Tua coming back, he's not going to probably push the dial downfield. And I think Gesicki's going to eat it up today.
Oh, I hope so. I need some help there with fantasy for Mike Gesicki as well. And my next one and last one is Justin Jefferson and DJ Moore, both over 5.5 catches in their perspective game going against each other, Carolina and Minnesota. I think there's going to be a fair amount of offense in that game, and those number 1 receivers are going to get leaned on. So let's lean into our injuries for the week. You want to jump into the guys that are ruled out?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start off, unfortunately, got the news that our guy Damian Williams is going to be out this week as well with COVID. Devontae Parker, Nick Chubb, Christian McCaffrey, Chris Carson, David Montgomery. Got to pause here real quick. This is hurting, man. This is a lot of big names. Curtis Samuel, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay, George Kittle, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Samuel Watkins. As we know, Russell Wilson's going to be out for a while, and Juju Smith-Schuster is also done for the season.
Ouch. All right, so those are our guys ruled out. For our game time decisions, a lot of these guys look like they're expected to play, but we're looking at Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, TJ Hawkinson, Allen Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Mike Williams, Kareem Hunt, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, F1 McLaurin, Chase Edmonds, Melvin Gordon, Kadarius Toney, Damian Harris, Dimey Brown, and Darius Slayton. Dimey Brown and Darius Slayton are not on the bottom screen. We did not have enough room for that. Expected to play today is Zeke Elliott. I don't know why he's always on that list, but I don't know if he's dinged up or missing practice, so they're just sitting him out or whatever it is, but he will be in the lineup today. Got the Dolphins game cooking up over here. Just getting to the pregame. All right, so let's jump into that preview, the Dolphins and the Jaguars. Both teams playing on the road in Mario, London. Dolphins come in as the favorites, -3 on the spread, -153 in the money line. Jags are laying +133 in London as the home team. The over is at 47 points. I like the Dolphins to cover, and I like them to win. I don't know if I love the total, though. I like seeing Tua back. I think that's, like I mentioned, a lot more upside for Gesicki. Jalen Waddle for sure. Will Fuller is on the IR. He's not available right now. Devontae Parker is out of that game. So I still like them to win. I think they're the better team all around, even with some of these injuries. It's a good opportunity for the Jags to take home a W, but I don't know. I feel like the under is also likely as well. What do you like in here? I think you're on the Jags, right?
I am on the Jags, yeah. So I took the Jags to cover and to win right on a couple of bets. It just seems like this team is probably due for one. And it is a road game, but they travel a lot to London. Prior to last year in COVID, they go to London every year. And then, there's jokes about them eventually moving. The team overall is pretty used to these moves. So I'm not too worried about that. I just feel like I think the Dolphins just, they're I don't want to say they're in shambles, but they've been struggling. Tua's coming back, which is good, but he had a rib injury. I don't think he's fully 100%. And I just feel like it's going to be one of those wacky London games. I do agree with you. It's going to be a low scoring, but I don't know. I just see the Jaguars pulling this out late.
I don't know, man. They're pretty mistake-oriented. I don't know how the locker room's feeling just yet with the coaching situation. They're 1-4 ATS, Miami 2-3 ATS. Obviously, Jacksonville still looking for their first win. They're 0-5. Again, with the total here, it gets a little funky. Jacksonville 4-1 to the over. Miami 2-3. Right? They're both bad on defense. Like, there should be plenty of opportunity for the offenses to get rolling. What I'm concerned is that the teams don't put up points. They're Miami 31st in the league for points scored per game. Jacksonville 28th, but they're also in the same percentage area for points allowed. So you really have to take your pick. I'm going to go with the under. Majority of the money is coming in on the over, about 54%, but I'm going to fade the public in that one. I'm going to take the under 47. Where do you sit with the total?
I'm going to go with the under as well. I just don't think it's going to be high scoring. These offenses aren't that good. I just think it's going to be very sloppy. I think you're going to see a lot of drives and in field goals and not in touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree with you. Any other props that you like in this one? I think James Robinson prop should be pushed after. I would stay away from LaVisca. He's super high and low right now, peaks and valleys. Not really sure what you're going to get out of him. Yeah. Anyone that you like?
Yeah, actually, I was just pulling up my phone. I wanted to see this. I did place a same-day parlay on this game, because I'm a degenerate and I don't mind starting with the 9:30 a.m. game. So I just did a quick one. It's only 5 of them, but I did a little alternate spread action here. Start off with the Jags at +8.5. I got the under 52.5. Tua under 230 yards passing. I don't think he doesn't really shred up a defense anyways. It first came back from injury overseas. I don't like it. I do like Jalen Waddle to get over 40 yards receiving. I think that's doable. It could happen on one play. The Jags secondaries are very good. And then since I went with the Jaguars winning, I also took a winning margin for the Jaguars between 1 and 13 points. So those 5 pay out +122.
Nice. I like it. All right, let's jump into the morning flex. First up, we got some quarterbacks. Same quarterback, same game. We got Kirk Cousins at Carolina versus Sam Darnold versus Minnesota. Cousins more of the downfield big play threat, but I think I'm going to go with Sam Darnold here. Just been a little bit more consistent. I like the matchup for Sam Darnold versus the Minnesota defense more so than I like the matchup for Cousins versus the Carolina defense. You agree, disagree? What do you think?
I disagree. So I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins. On the season, we'll talk about the game script in a little bit on what I see. But one of the big differences I made was Kirk Cousins this year, 10 passing touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. Sam Darnold, I think he still might be leading the league in rushing touchdowns. I don't know if he's tied with Henry now, but he has 6 rushing touchdowns. He also has 6 interceptions. So, the Panthers, they were everybody's darling, right? They're 3-0. They played like a cushy schedule. But you play who you play. They started to play tougher teams, right? They played the Cowboys and the Eagles. They lost both of those games. Darnold's been turning it over. And I think we're kind of seeing what he is. He's a little bit better than he was with the Jets, but he's still an average quarterback. I think this game, is going to play into the Vikings' hands. I think with Madison in that offense, I think Kirk Cousins will have a better day.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, Kirk Cousins has a lot of passing touchdowns, but Sam Darnold with total touchdowns because of the rushing opportunities, he has just like one extra touchdown. Do you know how many picks Darnold has?
6.
So he has 6 picks. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
obviously,
I don't know his fumbles yet. I'll look that up in a second. I'm not sure about his total turnovers. Yeah, right now, he's got 6 interceptions and he's lost 1 fumble. He's fumbled 4 times and lost 1 of them, so 7 total turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Kirk Cousins on paper, I mean, as a passer, he looks like he's the better play here. They have roughly the same amount of passing yards. I know that Cousins only has about 30 more. I just like the upside more with the Carolina offense. I think they would have to pass more. You're getting Dalvin Cook back as well for the Vikings, so that opens up a few more opportunities for him to close in the red zone, maybe even steal 1 or 2 touchdowns. Excuse me. He's just that type of running back. If he gets inside the 5 or inside the 10 and they give him the ball, he can close. So I'm going to go with a little bit more upside with Darnold. I do like the over in that game as well. We'll get to that here in a bit. But I think there's a fair amount of opportunity for him. We had in the chat on Twitter, we had someone asking Pittman or Chuba Hubbard today. He didn't say PPR or standard. I'll go with let's say it's PPR, but we want to make sure that we're addressing the Twitter chat here because it's always so separate from StreamYard. Now we want to make sure we're addressing them. I got it pulled up. So Pittman or Chuba Hubbard. I'm going to say it's PPR, and I'm going Hubbard. How about you?
I'm going to go Hubbard too. I think this is, like you mentioned, high-scoring game. No CMC. He's going to have double duty.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. And then we had someone else in the chat asking, random question, do I play Sutton or Booker at flex, potentially Emmanuel Sanders as well? Excuse me. I really like Emmanuel Sanders there. I think that's the best play. But Sutton would be my second and Booker would be my third. Again, assuming this is point per reception. Yeah. And he says, yes, mine is PPR. So, yeah, I'm going Manny, Sutton, Booker. And that's how I rank them. It's up to you.
I'm similar. I'm going Manny, Booker, and Sutton. Emmanuel Sanders really found his way in that offense the last 3 weeks. He's getting touchdowns. He's getting big plays. I think he supplanted Cole Beasley as a number 2 target in that offense, and that's a really high-powered offense. So he's a really valuable weapon with his speed. I'm going to go with Booker next with Barkley out. They're going to be trailing against the Rams. The Rams are going to kick the Giants' ass. So he's going to have opportunities with dunks and, receiving out of the backfield because, the whole wide receiving core is banged up too. So I think the opportunity's there. And then Sutton and Booker were close for me because the Raiders, I think, are in absolute turmoil. And I think the Broncos have an opportunity to just steamroll them. So I think Sutton's my third, but I think it's very close for me between him and Booker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really high on Sutton as well. He's coming off a really big week, put up over 100 receiving yards, a touchdown last week. I think he's going to have a big game this week up against the Raiders. But I hear where you're coming from. There should be that A1 role for the snaps and the touches for Booker. And we have actually all of these names that we just mentioned. They're coming up in more questions for us as well. We'll have Chubbard and Pittman coming back up. We'll have Booker as well. So we'll also have a few more comparisons to give you guys on these players. Next quarterback pairing we have here is Joe Burrow at Detroit or Dak Prescott at New England. Call me crazy, but I'm going JB. I'm going with the kid. Much better matchup.
I'm with you. It's in New England. If it was in Dallas, I would go with Dak. But Dallas offense, as great as it is, and it's a top 3 offense in the NFL right now, they are so balanced, and it sometimes works against fantasy. If Zeke and Pollard are cooking, and that's how a good offense should be, right? It sucks for fantasy, but if they're running the ball and New England can't do a thing about it, just keep running the ball, and Dak will do his intermediate passes, but he won't need to throw 40 times. And I think that might happen. Where I think they just run a ball control game, and they're going to win that way. But I think Detroit, their secondary is so bad; they get abused by everyone, right? The Vikings and Kirk Cousins, they put poor Dan Campbell into tears last week, and I just think Jamar Chase has got to be licking his chops, man. That secondary is so bad in Detroit, and they're banged up. Like Joe Burrow could drop 4 to 5 touchdowns today.
I also just like Detroit for the game flow, right? I think their offense will move the chains a little bit better still than Mac Jones and the Patriots offense. That they can stall drives, turn over the ball, whatever it is. You still got a young quarterback there. Jared Goff, he's not great, he's not amazing, but they move the chains. And they've been like a sneaky cover team. I think they're 2-3 ATS this season. We'll get to them here in a bit in that preview, but I think it's a much better matchup for fantasy wise, better game flow, more opportunity for fantasy points. The game total for New England is higher. It's like at 3 points more. It's like 50 points, but I also think that number is also too high. I think it should be kind of, probably in the similar area of Detroit and Cincinnati, but again, we'll get to that here in a bit. Next morning flex we have is DeAndre Swift versus Darrell Williams starting today over Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's out, and Chase Claypool versus Seattle. Chase Claypool is my number one on my love list for this week. So I'm going Chase Claypool here, even over these running backs. I think he's in line for a big game up against Seattle. No Juju Smith-Schuster, like you said. He's out for the year. He's going to be busting down the sidelines for big plays. He's going to be coming across the middle, stuff around the line of scrimmage, maybe even some rushing opportunities. Absolutely love Chase Claypool. Firing up in all formats. Now,
yeah, between the three. No, I don't think you're crazy. I agree with you. I think this is a Claypool game. You know, him and Johnson are like the last two receivers left in Pittsburgh, right? Just the last people standing that are healthy still. I think this is a Chase Claypool game. His big body, he's a big target. He's got speed. I think it's going to cause a lot of. He's very similar in a sense, right, to DK Metcalf. And I'm not saying they're the same player, but you know,
they're
big
very
receiver, big receiver, a lot of speed, right? So I think he's going to cause problems, and I think it's going to be a good game for him. I do have probably DeAndre Swift second. I think he's going to get a lot of work, and I think they're going to be trailing against the Bengals, so I think he's going to be involved quite a bit. And I have Williams third. I think Williams is going to have a decent game. I think he's going to be a little touchdown dependent. You know, if they get a couple of drives that end with them getting inside the 5-yard line in the red zone, I think he can get a couple touchdowns that way. But I just, I think he's going to be touchdown dependent on having a good game. If he doesn't have a touchdown, I don't think he'll have enough yards to kind of make up for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I still have, though, Darrell Williams second. I have him second just because of that matchup with the football team. Both sides are giving up points like crazy. Cincinnati defense is sneaky good. They're 7th in the league for points against right now.
Yep.
Very good. We got in the chat here, Malcolm Brown or Ramondre Stevenson today. Digging deep. Got to be 14 team, I'm thinking here, if we're talking Malcolm Brown. I'm probably going to stay away from Malcolm Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Gaskin looked a lot better with Tua in the lineup. Obviously, he could come in, goal line Brown. Obviously, he could come in and steal, a vulture touchdown. But I'm going to bet against it. I'm going to go with Ramondre Stevenson.
Same here. With Harris banged up, and the way the game flow kind of works in New England, right? They want to run the ball, protect Mac Jones. I think Stevenson could get a lot of work. And I think he could also, the way the game's going to work, I think he could get you a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he could have a very active role today. You got Damian Williams coming in banged up. Dallas defense has been good, but not great. I mean, especially up against the run, a lot of opportunity there. So, yeah, I'm going Stevenson. And just Bill loves to use all of his running backs. I think Malcolm Brown is more likely to put up a 0 than Ramondre Stevenson. Like, Stevenson has a much safer floor for sure. All right, next up on our morning flex, we've got Devontae Booker versus Javonte Williams and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, I feel like, should be the answer here, but I'm going to go with Javonte Williams. I still really like the matchup versus the Raiders. What do you think?
A little oppo for me. I'm going to go A.J. Brown myself. I think he's healthy now, and I think this is going to be a high-scoring matchup. I think Tennessee, I don't want to say it's a must-win game for them, but their backs are starting to get up against the wall, right? Like, they were supposed to be one of the favorites. And it's week 6, so you hate to say must-win game, but this is pretty important for them, right? I understand they've had injuries, but, losing that game to the Jets that they lost, that sucked, right? They needed that game bad. And they got to win. If they're going to be contenders, they're going to have to shoot out. So I think this will be a shootout. So I think AJ's got some good opportunity. I really like Devontae Booker. And like I said, not because I think he's going to it's a good matchup. I think it's a bad matchup. I know Aaron Donald's banged up, but my defense is still good. I just think they're going to be trailing a lot. And I think he's going to catch a lot of passes. And I think that's going to make up for it. It's going to be a lot of work. And Javonte Williams is a close second for me because I think, again, the Raiders matchup is going to be good. We saw what our Bears are doing last week. I think almost 200 yards rushing.
And the Chargers the week before. I mean, there's holes everywhere.
Yeah. And Denver and Vic Fangio, they're going to have a similar game plan, right? Steady Teddy's going to be in there, keeping it really simple. And between then Gordon and Javonte, I think it's going to be similar. So Brown, and then I go Booker, and then Williams.
Yeah, so I go Javonte, A.J. Brown, and Booker. I like Booker this week, but the matchup just isn't amazing for me up against the Rams, and I feel like they're still going to dig a little bit behind him and give somebody some touches. You might even see some carries for Kadarius Toney this week. They've been using him a ton the past few weeks. He's a guy that I absolutely love in week 6 as well. All right, let's move on to our next one. We got someone in the chat here. Yep, he said 14 team. Yeah, respect, sir. Man's league. Let's go.
Yeah, they're tough, man. I'm in one myself.
All right, next up, we got Marquise Brown versus Michael Pittman versus Chuba Hubbard, bringing these names back to the forefront here. I'm still going with Chuba. Behind him, I'd go Brown and then Pittman. I really love Chuba this week. Love the matchup. Obviously, no CMC, and the past couple of weeks without him, they've just been giving him that lead role, those lead touches and snaps. So I'm with it. Give me Chuba.
I'm with you. I like Chubb. I think there's a lot of work for him. I'm going to go Brown second as well. We saw last week, right, that Browns-Chargers game was one of the most entertaining games I've seen in a long time with all the touchdowns. And I think it could be similar here, the way Brown kind of put in work. So I'll go Brown second and Pittman. I think he'll have a respectable day, but I think Hubbard and Brown have some blow-up potential where it could be another big day for both.
Yeah, Pittman looked good in his last game, but so did Paris Campbell, actually. Paris Campbell looking like he might have another strong
Finally healthy.
Yeah, right. And T.Y. Hilton also coming back, it looks like, this week. So maybe a little bit less opportunity. And for the love of God, use these other running backs other than Jonathan Taylor. Like, I mean, Mac, they were like, hey, he's on the trade block. He's available. Like, all right, well, show people that he can do stuff. Naeem Hines, you just gave him a contract extension. Do something with him. My goodness. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous sometimes, the play calling for the Colts. We got Matt in the chat saying, what's up, guys? Good morning, Matt. Welcome to the Hizzy. Next up, we've got T. Higgins at Detroit versus Brandon Cooks at Indianapolis versus J.D. McKissick versus Kansas City. Who do you like here?
I think I'm going to go with Higgins first because I love the matchup. Like we just talked about Burrow. I think he could be alive for a good day as well. Second, I'm going to go with Cooks. As bad as the Texans been, he's actually been pretty decent since he's been there. Like all things considered with the lack of weapons, the spotty quarterback play. I like Cooks, and then I'll go McKissick third. I think he could be in for a sneaky day. It just really depends on how much they're going to limit Gibson, right? Gibson, I know he's been banged up. He's going to be slated to play, but McKissick is their receiving back. So I'll probably go Higgins, Cooks, and then McKissick.
Yeah, so I go Higgins, McKissick, and Cooks, and for me, it's just that high-scoring game with the Chiefs and the football team. Like it's at 54, one of the higher numbers on the day. I expect less scoring opportunities for the Colts in this one. A bit of a slower game flow. I mean, I know the number I think is at 43 or 44, so I'm just basing it off of that. I think there's going to be more opportunities for scoring, and McKissick's actually been getting used in the red zone, but still love Higgins today. He's on my top 5 for my love list. Love the matchup up against Detroit. I think that Higgins is going to have a much better week in week 6, just being lost, in the by the defense, by the Lions. They're going to be so focused on Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd that they're going to lose a hold of Higgins, and he's going to find some big holes down the middle of the field and go up for some big game plays, big chunk plays. We got Ryan in the chat saying thoughts on D'Ernest Johnson today. Desperate at RBs right now. D'Ernest Johnson or someone else? I mean, I don't love it. They said Kareem Hunt's going to have like a similar role that he does every week, so I would assume that would mean some value for D'Ernest Johnson. But if he doesn't find pay dirt, I think you're looking probably at like 40 to 50 yards max, like total, whether it's rushing or receiving.
Yeah, so Ryan, I'm assuming you're probably in a 14-teamer as well, because if you're looking at D'Ernest, things are kind of rough. Last year, though, he did get some run. I think when Chubb got hurt, I think it was Chubb that got hurt last year. And so he did prove some value. So he's got some skill and he can play. They're playing the Cardinals today, which I think is going to be a potential for a high-scoring game. So I like some potential there, but I'm with you, Justin. He's going to need a touchdown unless he breaks like a 50-yarder or something like that. If you're looking at D'Ernest Johnson, I don't think you have a lot of other options.
So he has D'Ernest Johnson or Devin Singletary. I think I just go.
Oh, that's another guy. I think that's another guy. That's Matt. That's not Ryan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was trying to keep up too.
Oh no. He said it below it. This is a different.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This is another question.
Oh no. I'm sorry. No, it is 2 different people. So yeah, Ryan, let us know in the chat who your other options are. If you let us know who your other options are, we can give you a better analysis or breakdown of who you should be going with. Let's look at Matt's question. Khalil Herbert, Kadarius Toney, Cole Beasley, pick 2 or Singletary. So Khalil Herbert, Toney, Singletary, or Beasley. I'm going Herbert and Toney.
I'm going to actually go Herbert because he's going to get the majority of the run, and he looked really good last week. So I think Herbert makes sense.
The majority of the run. Who else? Are they going to give Ryan Nall touches?
Oh God, please no.
Like that's like the majority. The whole thing.
It's going to be pretty much him. Touches. I know they did call up Artavis Pierce, but again, I think it might be dispelled. It's going to be the Herbert show, and I think I'm excited to see him get the full load. I think he looked really good last week. I'm actually going to go Oppo. I'm going to go Cole Beasley. I think Sanders, as I know I just said that he's having a good game. I think Beasley's due for one himself. And honestly, the way I think the game is going to go tomorrow, just because Beasley eats doesn't mean Sanders is going to have a bad game at all. It could be one of those like everybody, what did I call it last year? The Golden Corral. Everybody eats all you can eat. So I'll go Herbert, then I'll go Beasley.
I don't know, man. Toney looks so good. No Kenny Galladay. Darius Slayton is, questionable game time decision. We look at these last 2 weeks, man. I cannot stay away from Kadarius Toney. No way.
That Rams secondary, though, man.
Yeah, you still got Sterling Shepard that's, probably going to get Ramsey duty. And then, Darius Williams. Is Darius Williams healthy? Didn't he get hurt?
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I thought he got hurt. Even if he's not hurt, he's not having a great year so far. So he's kind of slow to start. We got Rodrigo in the chat. He said, been struggling to select a flex every week. Emron knows. I was going to say Rodrigo. That was familiar from the
he's having a league with him.
The Avengers League or whatever.
The Justice League. Yeah, Justice League.
There it is. There's
close enough.
Not DC. Sorry, my bad. Need one. Alex Collins at Pitt. No Chris Carson today. Tyler Higbee at the Giants or Brandon Bolden versus Dallas. I think Bolden might be getting a little bold, maybe a little too bold. I like Alex Collins. He looked good filling in for Carson last week. Still no Chris Carson. I think he should have plenty of opportunity to find pay dirt.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with an option that's not on this list. I think Rodrigo should pick up Alfred Morris. I think he'll have a good game today. I'm messing with him. But no, I think Alex Collins makes the most sense with no Carson, right? And Geno Smith starting as well. I think Carroll's going to try to run the ball as much as he can. And Collins, when he does get work, he looks pretty productive. He just doesn't get a lot of work with Carson around. So I'd go with Collins.
Yeah, go Alex Collins. That's it. Not Alfred Morris.
Maybe if he's available, go for him.
All right, next up here on our morning flex, we got Jared Cook at Baltimore versus Ricky Seals-Jones versus Kansas City. I am going Ricky Seals-Jones. He's got no competition for touches. Jared Cook and Donald Parham, they're pretty much sharing the workload here.
I do the same thing, with no Logan Thomas. I think the Chiefs are a little bit susceptible in the middle of the field as well. So I'd go with Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yep, Ricky Seals-Jones, home run there for the Hizzy. And then Dalton Schultz at New England versus Noah Fant versus Las Vegas versus the Raiders. That's a tough one for me. I flipped a coin for my answer, so just to be fair.
Let me go with Noah Fant. I think it's going to be more of a check down day. I think Fangio's, because they also started 3-0, and they lost a couple in a row, and I think he really needs a win. So I think they're going to play it really safe, and I think that's going to mean a lot of work for Fant, who's got some good matchups, I think, on those Raider linebackers.
Yeah, I flipped a coin and it said Dalton Schultz, so pretty much for the same exact reasons that you just said for Noah Fant. More of a check down game, more of a big body target in the red zone. You know what I mean? Like Amari Cooper's production hasn't been like out of this world. He's not demanding a huge target share or a huge number of targets, period. So, went with Dalton Schultz, but I think they're very, very, very close. All right, let's jump into our game previews. Looks like we're about to have kickoff here in the Miami-Jacksonville game in Jolly London town. Devontae Parker out, Preston Williams out, Xavier Howard out, Byron Jones out. Hopefully there's a good amount of offense in this game. We picked the under. I didn't actually bet the under, but I'd like to see some offense. I'd like to see some scoring, but gun to my head, I got under.
I think I bought the under up like 7 points. Under 52.
Bought it up 7 points.
I don't think it's – no, actually, no. What's the under, 47?
Yeah.
I have 5 points. 5 points. That was 52.
We got Cam Khan, little bro Khan, in the chat saying, I got Ricky Seals-Jones getting 3.5 receptions today. Love it. Love it.
I feel good about that one.
I feel really good about that as well. All right, first one up here, we've got the Texans going to Indianapolis, coming in as road dogs, plus 10 on the spread. Colts, obviously, minus 10, minus 460 on the money line for the Colts. And the over-under in this one is at 43 points. I feel like we should be on the under, but I feel like the total is going to hit here. Both teams, 3-2 to the over. Indianapolis a lot closer to the over. They're actually more closer to 4-1 than they are to 3-2. I like the Colts in this one. I actually think they can cover the 10. What do you think?
I like the Colts to win. I like the Texans to cover. A lot of people, they've been, been a good job at covering these big spreads lately. And I think it'll be a close game, but 10 points is just too much. I think this is prime for a backdoor cover.
I'm just fading the public. 70% of the public on Houston to cover this one. I'm going opposite. Houston's one of those funny teams. You really don't know what you're going to get. It's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde situation. I think they're going to be a lot better this week. Their last matchup, they had a lot to prove. They knocked in the front door on the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think they're going to take the foot off the gas pedal up against the Houston Texans. They're playing at home. I like them today to cover the 10. Obviously, to win outright, they're minus 460. If you see this game early, Houston go up, I would really try to attack Indianapolis live on the money line. If you can get that down to minus 150 after they go down a touchdown, or maybe even down to minus 200, if Houston comes down and kicks a field goal on the first drive, whatever it is, that would be a play that I'd be looking at or looking after, if you're trying to get some more money on that money line, more value. All right, next we got the Packers and the Bears. Emron repping the white and orange. My shit's wrinkly. Sorry, man.
No problem.
I got Packers road favorites, -6 on the spread, -240 on the money line. Over under is at 44 points. Bears are 1-4 to the over. Packers are 2-3. Let's start with that number. I think we can actually go to the over today. I think it's going to be close. But if it's a Bears type of game, we're to the under. I still think the Packers are probably going to win like a 21-17, somewhere in there. So give me the Bears to cover. Packers win. And I don't know. I'll take the over. I'll say we'll figure it out.
I'll take the over. I think it'll be a slight over in this game, 44.5. The Bears are doing a good job lately. I think the only game that's gone over, I think, was week 1. I think every other game has been under. And so it's 4 straight unders for the Bears. I think 45, I think the Packers offense, I think, you got to give them their respect. I think they'll be able to put up some points. I do like the Bears to cover. This line was, I think, 4.5 earlier in the week, so it jumped up to 6 because people were slamming the Packers at 4.5. I like the Bears getting +6. If you look at the games they played this year, even the blowouts they had, they were 7-point games scored in the fourth quarter. I think, with Green Bay's injuries, Jair Alexander's out, Zadarius Smith is out. There's 2 defensive players. Kevin King, their other starting corner, is also out. That secondary is vulnerable, so I'm really hoping the Bears attack those corners today. Heavy dose of Khalil Herbert. Bears to cover, and, I'll say I'm going to be the homer. I'll pick them to win. A lot of people didn't expect them to win last week against the Raiders, but if they can do what they've been doing, lead the league in sacks, protect the ball, take the ball away, I don't see why not. The key is going to be, though, converting these third downs and not doing any, dumbass tight end jet sweeps.
Yeah, I really hope so. Both teams the Bears 3-2, the Packers 4-1 ATS. So both have upside to go to cover. Anyways, I was just going to say they both have a winning record on the cover and on the money line. I still like the Bears to cover the 6, like you mentioned, opening at 4.5. I still like that value that we're getting with an extra 1.5 there. So give me the Bears to cover, Packers to win, and I'll take the over, but it's going to be really close. Next up, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs coming in as road favorites, -7 on the spread, -305 on the money line. Over under is at 54 points. I think I like the football team to cover the 7 here. What do you think?
I do too, and it's one of those things. Normally, you wouldn't have said that, calling back a couple months ago. But this is not the same Chiefs team, man. Their defense. Right. I feel bad for Tyrann Mathieu. Every week he's had his hands up in the air, asking Nick Sorensen what the hell he's doing. And I think that's going to happen today too with Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin. So I think it's going to be a closer game than people expect. And we already talked about how high scoring it's going to be. Chiefs are going to win, but football team is going to make them sweat.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep it close. Both offenses have been very good. Kansas City 5th in the league for points scored per game. Football team 12th, so they're right there. The big issue is that both teams are bleeding yards, touchdowns, and points. Kansas City 32nd last for points allowed per game. Washington 31st. So we literally have the 2 worst defenses right now on paper, anyways, for points allowed. Kansas City 1-4 ATS. Washington same. Both have a losing record to the spread. Both teams are 2-3, but both teams are 4-1 to the over. So I really like the over here. I like the Chiefs to win, of course. I think they're definitely going to be coming back from that loss, really hungry for a win. But I don't think that they cover. I think there's plenty of opportunity for the football team to keep this one close. Even if they're losing by 14 going into the fourth quarter, I trust them to cover that 7 and get it back close again. So,
yep.
Yeah, definitely lay the 7 on football team today. We're both confident on that. Next up, we've got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Carolina, visiting the Panthers, coming in as road favorites, -2.5 on the spread, -150 on the money line. Total here is at 45.5 points. I love that over. Carolina laying +130 at home. I think I like that too. I'm going to take the over. I like Carolina to win and to cover. I just think they're the better team all around right now. Most of that comes from their defense. Like, they're playing very good on the defensive side of the ball.
I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think the Vikings to win, and I think the over. I think it's going to be a decently scoring game. I just think the Panthers, every time a team gets off to a hot start, but they're playing, trash competition, they get questioned, and they can either prove people wrong or prove them right. So far, the Panthers are going to prove people right. That the game that they lost to the Eagles at home last week was concerning to me. The Dallas one, not so much, because I think Dallas is a team that's going to be contending this year. So I'm not saying much about Minnesota, but I just think they're going to pull it out.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I'm going to go with the Panthers at home. You know, that plays a factor. Their defense plays a huge factor for me. Third in the league right now for points allowed per game. Minnesota, they're ninth, so going to be a little bit better defense there. But we're also going to have some fireworks. We got a lot of fantasy relevant players here. A lot of guys that can push the ball down the field. We got Darnold, we got Cousins, we got these A1 receivers: Anderson, Moore, Thielen, Jefferson. So it should be a good game. Hopefully, we get the points here. I really like the over. Minnesota 2-3 to the over. Carolina 1-4. I think we're going to get some fireworks today, though. We got Ryan in the chat says, thank you. It was a 14-team league. Other options are Khalil Roundtree, Ron Jones? Yeah, Ron Jones, Tyrell Williams, Jeremy McNichols. Dearness Johnson will be a sneaky play today, going for my first win. Oh, okay. Man, that's tough. If Tyrell Williams is in, that matchup up against the Chargers rushing defense is really, really good. They're bleeding yards up the middle. A lot of opportunity on the ground there. If he's in, I guess I would throw a dart on him. Dearness Johnson, man, I don't know. Literally, you're just looking at these guys and asking yourself, who is the least likely to score less than 5 points or least likely to score 0? That's tough, my man.
It's rough, and I think Dearness Johnson, it's worth a shot. Like I said, he's going to have a role, right? He's going to basically take over Kareem Hunt's normal role in a sense, right? Or part of Nick Chubb's role. It should be a high-scoring game, so I think you could definitely do worse.
Sorry, I wasn't moving the games along on the bottom screen. Next up, we've got the Chargers and the Ravens. Chargers plus 2.5 on the spread. Road Dogs plus 122 on the money line. 51 points for a game total here. I like the Chargers to win and cover on the road. I think they're the better team still. Same.
That's what it is. And I think just to kind of add on to that, I don't think people realize how good Justin Herbert is right now. Like I just saw a stat I have on my other screen, the pregame show. They were saying he has the most 300-yard passing games through his career. More than Dan Marino, more than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, when he came on, right, he was doing some crazy stuff, and he still is. But Justin Herbert, like, I don't think people really appreciate how good this guy is and how fast he's been this good.
We're getting treated to a nice new generation of quarterbacks. No, we got Herbert, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. Like, man, we're going to be all right. We're going to be
we definitely are. And I'm also, just because I picked the Chargers to win, I don't think that doesn't mean this is going to be a great. I think it's going to be a great game. This is potentially a playoff matchup we're going to be watching. So, Lamar put on a show Monday night too. Also another thing I'm excited to see for the Ravens. Rashad Bateman should be playing today, right?
Actually, I'm not sure about that, but I know that he was close to coming back last week, so that makes sense. Yeah,
he's playing today.
Okay.
I think that's exactly what Lamar needs. He needs like an Allen Robinson type of receiver, a Kenny Galladay guy, right? That big guy.
They're missing Sammy Watkins, though. I'd like to have him with the whole crew. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to see Sammy out there with Marquise Brown and Bateman. I still would love Rashad Bateman today as long as he's starting. Certainly love him over those other options there. Ryan in the chat, if Bateman's somehow available, I doubt it. But yeah, I mean, the opportunity is going to be there for him. We were all excited about him coming into the season. Someone that we thought, being added to the roster was really going to open up the passing offense. Hey, passing offense is there. Greg Roman definitely is keeping his job.
He's airing it out. Yeah,
he's secured that for sure. Opening up the playbook, getting Lamar to get his guys downfield. So love the opportunity for Bateman today, especially with Watkins out. But as a unit, I would love to see them with all of those guys healthy. Would also open a lot more opportunities for Mark Andrews as well. So need to get that youth on the field. Let's throw Joe Burrow into that mix too, the next gen. He's lighting it up.
Oh yeah, how do we miss him? That's our guy.
Team success. Like Lamar won an MVP. He's made some playoff run. Well, he did just get his first playoff win last year, but same thing.
No, I get it.
Kyler, Allen, all the stats are there, all the fireworks and all that jazz. All right, next up we got the Bengals and the Lions roar. Let's see. Bengals coming in as road favorites, -3.5 on the spread. The Lions +3.5 at home, +165 on the money line. Bengals are getting -195 on the road, and the total is 47 points. I don't know about the over. I don't know if Detroit can.
You said 47.5, or was it 47?
47.5. Oh Lord.
I'm going to take the under. That hook scares me. I just can picture it right now, Justin. This is going to be a 24-23 game. I guarantee you 24-23, and the hook's going to get you. I just am really worried for the Bengals. They had that heartbreaker last week to the Packers with all those missed kicks. That is a game they should have won, and I'm just hoping they're over it, because if they're not, the Lions are 0-5, but they're a pain in the ass. Where if you're not on your game, they could easily put up some points. So I like the Bengals to win. I'm a little just concerned that hopefully there's no hangover from last week.
I trust the Bengals. I think I will buy it down the spread to 3. I'll buy down the spread to 3. I think that they can win this game by 10, but I still want to keep it within the math. I don't want the hook. The minus 195 I'm fine with, and I agree with you. I'm going to go with the under. I just don't feel like Detroit's going to play their role. They could score even less than 23 points, and both teams have a losing record to the over. Burrow and the Bengals 1-4, Goff and the Lions 2-3. So I'm just keeping it simple there. Detroit defense is just so bad. Well, no, what am I saying? Their offense and defense is bad. Both ranked 25th in the league right now for points scored per game and points allowed per game. So we got a false start on Miami. I saw Tua make a nice play on 3rd and 9, took a hit, and delivered a pass to Waddle for a first down.
Yeah, Waddle's already got 17 yards. So I don't want to get too excited of myself, because last week Devin Singletary had 15 yards on the first drive and he was halfway home, but we digress.
Don't count your eggs before the hatch.
Yeah, I'll just say it's a good start for Waddle.
Yes, indeed. And that wasn't Gesicki. Darn. All right, Rams and Giants. We got the Rams traveling to New York, -8 road favorites, -410 on the money line. Over-under is at 48.5 points. The Giants are laying +330 at home. I like the Rams to cover, win, and I think I'm going with the under here. I don't think that the Giants play their role. Few turnovers. We've got some guys that are really beat up. I don't know if Dan Jones lasts the entire game. So I'm going with the Rams here. Heavy win. I would take the spread probably at 10 or 12.
Yeah, and I'm really worried about this line, because, like you just said, even though they're on the road, you think this would be the way the matchup is. This should be a double-digit spread. So I think the value is really good on the Rams. So I like the -8, I like the under as well. I think the Rams will light it up. I just don't know if I can even trust the Giants to get to like 17. So I'm going to still with the under.
That's probably the best peak for them. If you can get a team score of 17.5 or less, I would take that on the Giants. I would slam that. The Giants offense has been good, like at times, especially when you got Dan Jones running like that weird like double triple option that they do. When they try to prioritize getting him yards on the ground, I think they look better as a team. I don't know if this is the week that's going to be the case, just because he's a little bit beat up. I don't know if you saw that video of him just like he couldn't even take steps forward last week. You see that? That's pretty rough stuff. If they're saying he's good to go, I trust him. But at the same time, he takes one good hit, he could be out of this.
And that's a defense that will hit you.
Yes. Yes. Aaron Donald will jump on your back. He doesn't care how many good legs you have. I'm going to take the Rams to cover. Yeah, I mean, I'd go alt line and cover 10, 14 even. And I like the under a lot. I think that's probably the best pick in the game. We've got definitely not a fake throne in the chat. Shout out for that name. Love it. Start 3 of 4. Darrell Williams, Khalil Herbert, Antonio Gibson, or Zach Moss. It's really tough with those last two there. I feel like it should be Darrell, Herbert, and Antonio, because we're just never really sure what we're going to get out of Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. But Zach Moss has looked like the better option. I like the total with KC in Washington, so I think Darrell should be a lock. Khalil Herbert might be the question mark here, but I feel like he should be in there because of the workload. I'm going Darrell, Khalil, and Gibson.
I'm going to go with the same with Buffalo's backfield. You just never know. Like it's going to be a high-scoring game. Moss could give you 3, could give you 20. So I'm just going to go with the safer floors. I love Williams, Herbert, and Gibson.
Yep, going with the same as well. Missed pass to Myles Gaskin, you sons of bitches. All right, next up we got Cardinals at the Browns. Cardinals coming in as road dogs, +3.5 on the spread, +165 in the money line. Over under is at 48 points. I'm slamming the over. I'm slamming the Cardinals on the spread. Probably staying away from the money line here, at least pregame.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Browns to win, and it's not even an upset because the Vegas has them as the favorites, but I feel like it's an upset, right? Because they're beating one of their last undefeated team, right? The Cardinals are the last undefeated team. They're 5-0.
They are. For some reason, I was thinking that Dallas was still undefeated, but that's
yeah. So that's no small feat. So I do think that's, in my opinion, that's an upset right there. What, the Browns are 3-2, something like that. They lost to the Chargers.
The Browns. You're saying the Browns? They are 3-2, right?
Yeah, so I think this is, in my opinion, this is an upset. So Browns, I think the win at home. No Cliff Kingsbury for the Cardinals. I am a little bit leery of that, and just seeing what that means. That might mean something. It might not, because you still got Kyler Murray. But I think it's gonna be another high scoring game, like you said. But I like the Browns to win. If I have to pick something on the spread, I'd say plus 3.5 with the Cardinals. I'd watch for movement on that, because I'm wondering if the Kingsbury news makes any difference, because he's also the play caller.
Okay. I mean, I'm taking Kyler Murray at plus money. That's the way I look at it. Like I said, I don't want the plus 165 pregame. Maybe I'll figure it out, live. But I like the plus 3.5. If I'm getting Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, best team in the league right now, spot me 3 points. Yeah, I'll take that easily. I think it's going to be a good game, very similar to the Browns and Chargers from last week. So we should get fireworks. Last week, the Chargers put up enough points to go over the total themselves up against the Browns. So there's a little bit more opportunity against that defense than people may perceive. So yeah, we're going opposite here, but I like it. I can agree with it. The reasons that you mentioned, Cliff, being off the sidelines, the Browns being at home, pretty solid defense still, but they're also going to be missing a key key component in Nick Chubb. I think that's going to play a role as well. So we'll see what we get. Let's catch up with the chat here. We got Brady Butler saying, should I trade Davante Adams and Allen Robinson for DJ Moore, AJ Brown, and Saquon Barkley? What? That is a very interesting trade. And honestly, I would do it, because I love DJ Moore. He's a wide receiver 1 right now. He should be a lock for that position for the rest of the year. AJ Brown is going to come back into that territory with the Titans getting healthy, being more aggressive in games. They're 2-3 right now. They need to get it together. And you're getting Saquon Barkley that should be back in 4 or 5 weeks, probably at the most. That secures you a nice running back 1 for the end of the season. Davante Adams and the Allen Robinson side, you're really just losing Davante Adams. Allen Robinson has not taken off so far, and the wide receivers, other than Darnell Mooney, have not been prioritized in this offense for the Bears. With each approach, even with Montgomery out, they really hammered down on Herbert and Damian Williams. So I'm expecting the same going forward here. They want to use that run game to protect Fields in the passing game. Yeah, I go DJ Moore, Brown, and Barkley. What do you think? What do you think, Emron?
I would say no.
Okay.
I just, there's too many question marks for me. Barkley, he's going to be out a few more weeks. And that's the worrisome, because I think that's the part that puts it over. Because aside from that, I think you're taking a loss, because Robinson's been pretty disappointing, but I think he'll be stepping up. Right. So I'd probably say no. Justin, can you give me 30 seconds? I'm having some technical difficulties on my side. I think my laptop may die. I want to make sure my charger's in, so I just need 30 seconds.
Yeah, you're good. I'll go through the chat here. Cam says he has a serious question. I thought all your questions were serious, Cam. Brandon Cooks returning Julio Jones. My gut is telling me Cooks. I like Julio because it's a better game. It's a better matchup. The Titans, or not Titans defense, I'm sorry. The Bills defense has been really good, but I feel like they're going to need to lean on Julio. More upside to land in the end zone. Brandon Cooks has been probably more reliable, has the safer floor, but I'm going with Julio's ceiling. I think that's the way to go there, especially if it's PPR as well. Let's see, Brady Butler. Oh, he was talking to Brady. I would love that in a heartbeat, just because of the upside from that trade. Yeah, I would go ahead with that trade. I really like it a lot. Let's see. Moving on to the Raiders and the Broncos. We've got the Raiders coming in as +4 road dogs, +171 on the money line. Over under is at 43.5 points. I actually like the Raiders for an upset in this one. I think they can cover the spread at least. I like the post John Gruden narrative. I think that they're going to come out, play with a lot more passion, a lot more pride. I felt like last week they kind of let down, only tidbits of the information about the whole John Gruden situation had kind of unveiled themselves. And I felt like players were kind of, seeing the writing on the wall, hey, obviously more information is going to come out about this. This isn't the last that we've heard of it. And what we have heard of it isn't very good. So I felt like there was kind of a letdown from them, and they may not have been playing as hard for their coach last week. So I like them to bounce back. The Denver Broncos have been very good, but their record, how indicative is it, versus their opponents, right? They're 3-2, and they don't have any wins up against teams with winning records just yet. So I like the Raiders to cover in this one. I think the Broncos can win at home. It's going to be a close game, but give me the Raiders at +4. I like the Broncos at -196 on the money line. The total, I'll probably stay away from. The Broncos defense has been really good, second in the league for points against per game on average. So I think that there's a little bit less upside to go to the over here. So give me the Raiders on the cover, the Broncos win, and the under 43.5. Looks like we got.
I like that as well. I think I'm back. Yeah, I don't understand my charger. It says it's 0. It's plugged in, but I should be okay. If I lose out, I'll get the backup laptop ready. But I agree with you on the Raiders game. I just think there's a lot of distractions there right now. And I don't know how that team's going to respond. And they were beat down. They were just beat down last week by the Bears, right? They were out physical. They were bullied. Denver has a defense that can do the same thing. So I'm going to go with the Broncos there to cover, and I like the under as well. The 9 points last week from the Raiders were a little bit disappointing. So the Broncos to cover and the under.
Okay, yeah, I got the Raiders to cover. I have the Broncos to win, but what I was going through with the John Gruden stuff was a little bit of that information had come out about him prior to that game last week, and I feel like that did play an effect in the locker room. Like I feel like the guys played down. They weren't coming in with the same level of passion and pride. I think they're going to bounce back this week and show like, hey, we don't need JG here to win.
Yep.
All right, next up, we got Cowboys traveling to New England, -3 on the spread, -190 on the money line. Total is at 50 points. Patriots are laying +165 at home. I like the Cowboys to cover. I like the Cowboys to win, and I like the under 50 points.
I'm the same way. I'm going to go with Dallas to cover and to win. The Patriots, I don't think this is a good matchup for them at all. Dallas can get scoring. Dallas can attack that defense pretty much whatever way they want to, and I think if it turns into a shootout, they can't keep up. And especially if they try to throw the ball with Mac Jones. Trevon Diggs is off to one of the best starts we've seen by a corner in quite some time. He's like on an island by himself, and the Patriots don't really have receivers that scare me.
Yeah, absolutely. Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar. Hunter Henry might lead the team with receiving touchdowns with 2. Yeah. I'm not sure. But yeah, I look for Mac Jones and that offense to make some mistakes today. Damian Harris isn't 100%. Not really sure how you're going to combat this Dallas Cowboys offense. Combat their defense. Their defense is 14th in the league, for points allowed per game. I think they're going to drive that ranking down. I think they're going to get it into the top 10 after this week. It's going to be a good matchup for the Dallas Cowboys. -3 is way too low a spread. I would take them at -7 or -8.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, we've got the Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sunday Night Football. Seahawks coming in as road dogs, +5 on the spread, +190 on the money line. Over under is at 42.5 points. We got Geno Smith starting here. Is he going to be able to put up enough offense with backup running back Alex Collins and those receivers?
I don't think so, man. I really don't think so. So I'm going to go with the under and the Steelers to cover. I'm really concerned by the Seattle offense.
Yeah, I am fading the Seahawks bigly this week. Other than that Alex Collins start, I would still like that start. But DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, I don't like those options. I think we have Gerald Everett coming back from COVID. No thanks. I love the Steelers at -5, -220 the money line. It's pretty decent value, but I would hammer that -5. I think I'm going to go with the under. I don't think there's going to be as much offense from the Seahawks in this one. I don't know if they play their role. I think they're going to be kind of an easier team to figure out, once, they start going through like their manufactured kind of game script, like their easy play calls in the first quarter. Once they get beyond that, I don't think they're going to be much of a fight for the Steelers here. Love Claypool in this one, would hammer all of his props, Najee props, Deontay props. I would slam all of those. We got Jake in the chat saying Darren Waller, anytime TD, +200. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. All right, let's close it down with the Bills and the Titans. Amron's favorite game of the week by far with that stacked set of prop parlay, Bills coming in as road favorites, -4.5 or 5.5 on the spread, -245 on the money line. Over under is at 53.5 points. What do you like?
So I'm going with the Bills to cover. Unfortunately, I want the Titans to be there, but I think 4.5 is a little bit lower. I think if I could get that closer to 6 points, even a touchdown, I would love to take the Titans. But I have a lot of question marks. They finally are going to have Julio and AJ Brown healthy or healthier, right? So I think it's going to be high scoring for sure. A lot of fun matchups, but I am severely concerned with the Titans' ability to stop the Bills' offense.
I'm hammering the Bills here. The Bills are first for points scored per game. They are first for points allowed per game. I'm also going to take what's that?
2 shutouts. They already have 2 shutouts on the year.
Absolutely crazy. The number, I'd probably buy it up 1.5 and I slam the under. I had the same strategy up against the Chiefs, but I still think that Chiefs offense is, as far as like points per game, they're higher than the Titans for sure, hands down. So I don't trust them as much as I trust the Chiefs, and I didn't trust the Chiefs to go over the total. I missed on that last week, but I'm coming back to it again. I'm sticking with the Bills. Like I said, first in points scored, first in points not allowed. Those 2 zeros, like you mentioned. So I'm taking the under 53.5. Give me the Bills on the money line. Honestly, I'd probably take the Bills at -7. I still like them a lot.
No.
We got Jake in the chat saying Seahawks versus Steelers will be a smash mouth bowl, going to be grisly. Well, I hope it's entertaining. It's Sunday Night Football. I certainly believe that the Chargers and the Ravens should be flipped. That should have been a flex game. The Chargers.
I really wish they could have done that too, because injuries happen. I mean, with Russ in there, I think it would have been a little bit more fun to watch. But man, I would love to get either Browns and Cardinals or Ravens and Chargers in prime time. Either game would have been a blast.
Yeah, we could have gone to Ravens and Chargers if it was probably at that time.
I probably would have done it with you. I probably would have done it. It would have been a fun game to watch.
I've actually been to a Chargers and Ravens game before. The last time that they were
playoff game, yeah, tell me, yeah.
Yeah, the last time they were playing, the starting quarterbacks were Joe Flacco and Phillip Rivers. Joe Flacco was replaced in that game by Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
If you didn't think Lamar Jackson could pass last year, my goodness, that game. They did. They think he had like 7 or 8 passing attempts. Those bastards.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a playoff game. It was fun to see, but man, they just would not let Lamar off his leash. And they started the game with Joe Flacco, and then they couldn't do anything. And then the whole stadium's yelling for Lamar, and it was a bad deal.
Yep.
We got Jacksonville. Looks like they're about to kick a field goal. We missed the Waddle touchdown. Caught a pass from 6-yard pass from Tua Tagovailoa.
Are you ahead of me? You might be ahead of me then.
Well, that was a while ago, the Waddle touchdown. So.
Oh yeah, no, I have that. I got 3rd and 5 right now for the Jags.
Oh yeah, they're about
yeah. I just missed it. Arnold dropped that easy pass, which was embarrassing because that might have been a touchdown. If he held on to it, he might have been running still.
Seeing Jamal Agnew already getting too many goddamn targets, it's driving me nuts.
Yeah,
pass the ball to LaVisca, please. Chanel blocks, and we got a 7-3 game. All right, cool. We got Jake saying Ravens versus Chargers is going to be the game to watch. I hope so. I'm heavy onto the Chargers in that one, heavy on the Cardinals, and also heavy on the Steelers on their spreads. That's what I'm liking. He says, "What? No Agnew props? Yeah, no Agnew props. Damn it! I don't even know if my book was allowing Agnew props. They don't like those guys. They don't like those 4th and 5th tier players. They don't want to take any chances. All right, cool. We got anything to close it down with?
No, man. Hoping for another big game from the Bears today. 3-1 since Justin Fields taken over. 2-1 was a starter. Big game against the Packers, and it starts, a murderer's row for them, right? Bucks after this, the Niners. I'll be at that game. Excited for that one, and then Ravens and Steelers, man. So it's going to be exciting, and just a lot of good games today. So excited for football.
You're gonna miss the Halloween episode. I feel like you're just doing this so you don't have to dress up.
That wasn't part of it. Originally, actually, I thought I might have been able to make it because for some reason in my head, I had it that game against the Niners was Sunday Night Football. I have no idea why. And I was looking at tickets last week before buying them. And it's like it's a noon game. I was like, what the hell? How did I miss that? And I thought for like 6 months. In my head, I don't know if I just said it enough times where I believed it.
You get to watch the game at noon at least. Where do you know where you're staying yet?
No, probably downtown. We usually stay somewhere like on the river or roughly in that area, downtown area. That's usually good. Walk to a lot of stuff. Excited for some Halloween stuff down there too.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome. A little bit cooler off the lake. Little more chill. You're not like burning down in the middle of summer in the humidity. So yeah, that'll be a good time, man. That'll be a good time. Definitely enjoy that. But we'll have you back plenty of times before. Let's see. Absolutely. Oh, we got the Horsted prop. There we go. 1,300. Let's go.
It's not bad at all because he might be the most talented tight end on the roster.
Stop it. I don't know what's with you guys. Yeah, Driscoll texts me every week. He says, "Hey, Horsted's not playing. This isn't looking good." That's the first thing he says to me.
if you watch him play, man, like he deserves more run, or they need to find out a better way to use Komet. But
they need
I'm
to find
excited
a
for this
better way to use their first round tight end. Please, please, please.
Agreed.
I'm begging you, please.
Agreed.
Come on. That's involved in the Josh Jacobs, Khalil Mack trade. Or not Josh Jacobs, but they used that pick.
Yeah, that was the pick. I remember.
Jacobs. Yeah, and then with our pick, we took Komet. It's like, all right, cool. Like, we got some opportunity here to really, put our side of the trade over the top. But no.
This could be the game, with it just being Khalil Herbert, maybe some more dump downs for Komet, have him move the chains, because that's what he should be doing. He should be killing it between 7 and 15 yards and just moving the chains and attacking the defense.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
Well, hopefully they keep the play calling pretty simple for the kid today. We're hoping for the best for number 1 for the Bears. Bear down. We're going to head out. Everybody, take care. Be well. Enjoy your Sundays. Let's go get some dubs.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Later.